What's up, guys? Solar Polar Bear here, and it's been a while. It's been a long time since I've actually put out a video where I'm sitting in front of a camera talking to you guys. I've been doing a lot of other things, and life got very hard for me, but I'm trying to get back into my momentum and start putting out videos. Now, I'm hoping that this one, along with others that I'm going to put out this week, will get me started and keep me back on my momentum. So if you guys want to help me keep going, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, whatever the fuck YouTube does, and it'll really help me out, trust me. Anyways, let's get started on a topic that I really want to talk about today, and it's specifically, don't be fucking afraid, right? And I know a lot of my org members are going to see this video and they're going to be like, dude, Solar, this isn't funny. You're probably calling me out. I just told you about this in, confidence. It's not fair. Don't do that. But in all reality, don't be fucking afraid to cross the damn safe zone barrier. Let's think of this mathematically, right? A lot of people think that they're going to run into a lot of pirates crossing that safe zone barrier, and they get a lot of fucking stress and anxiety when they're crossing the goddamn line. Don't do that. Don't be scared. It's okay. First of all, there's no reason to be scared. Yeah, sure, if you lose something, it's fine. It's a video game. You'll get over it. You'll adapt. You'll get better. That's usually how things go. When I was in my first combat, past the safe zone, I learned from it. That's usually how these things work. Whenever you go into an open PvP area, you got to be willing to accept the consequences of what's going to happen. Now, in any other game, let's use Mortal Online 2 for an example. You walk outside the city and you're going to get fucking capped. It's going to happen. But usually when I went out, I either went out with other people or I just went out by myself knowing what was going to happen. So I didn't wear the best gear. I really didn't keep expensive things on me or my money. I just went out getting resources. That's all I really did. So if I died, I really didn't lose much. Now, what I usually do in Starbase is I'll take some crappy ships out if I'm going by myself. I'll take my Marmot out that has like 3 fucking holes in it that I still haven't repaired and the engines don't really work efficiently, and I'll just go out. If I get capped, it's fine. It'll happen. There's nothing really I'm going to do to defend myself because I'm not in a fighter, and I'm not really going to switch to the tripod on top unless I really know I can. Otherwise, fuck it. If I lose it, I lose it. I'll get it back. I'll remine stuff. And that's why we have the safe zone, is so you can mine things. So keep it in mind whenever you pass that safe zone barrier, don't be afraid, don't take on this stress, and don't take on the anxiety that you think you're just going to get killed all the fucking time. It's probably, and most likely, not going to happen. Now, in my 300 hours of playing this game, I got attacked twice. That's it. 2 combat experiences past the safe zone, and one of those was because I kept my transponder on. Now, this is a tip. If you're going to go mining, don't keep your fucking transponder on. If you see someone with a transponder on, more than likely, they're looking for a fight. They want someone to come to them so that they can just gun you down. That's what's probably happening. Otherwise, it's probably someone dumb who doesn't know not to keep their transponder on, or they're trying to communicate with allies. You don't really know. But don't keep your transponder on. That's just one big tip I can say. It'll keep you being less scared. You're going to know no one's really going to see you unless they come into contact with you visually. And visually, I think the draw distance is about 5 km or more. You're not really going to notice that many people, and even if they do end up popping into your render distance, they might pop out. You don't know where they're going, what direction they're traveling, what their vector is, so the likelihood of you actually coming into contact with someone is very low. And that chance lowers the further you get out away from the safe zone barrier. You're going to have a lot of people who are going to be mining very close to the safe zone barrier, and the further that you go out, the less likely you're going to see someone. Think of it in sheer volume. Is a massive cube with over 2 billion points, right? This is our theoretical thing here. The likelihood of you seeing someone inside that volume is extremely low. It's such a small percentage. Now let's also think about it from this perspective. There's 7,000 max players just the other day. Now, what is the percentage of people who are actually in the designer? What is the percentage of people who are over by origin or within the safe zone? Then minus that from the total players and see what percentage of people are actually at their stations that are in the safe zone and they're building or doing something else. Then minus that again. What percentage are miners? Then take away from that again, what percentage are miners that are outside the safe zone and what percentage are the combat guys who are outside the safe zone? There's only 2 reasons people pass the safe zone barrier. That is combat or mining. I can understand you can throw in there that they're placing a station, but that doesn't really count to this whole idea. So if you think about it, the likelihood of you coming into contact with someone is very low, and it lowers exponentially the further you get away from that safe zone barrier. You're not going to find a lot of people. Like I said, in my 300 hours of playing or more, I didn't find anyone except 2 dudes. The first one was a combat ship that came after me, and it was tiny and hiding behind an asteroid, and that was literally 30 seconds from passing the safe zone. The second one was no more than 5 minutes away from the safe zone barrier. And I had seen a lot of people mining also. The fact that that guy targeted me is kind of interesting because there were so many other miners. So I was a small percentage compared to everyone else he could have chosen. There was unarmed miners, and I could see them within my visual. But as this game progresses and it sheds players, you're going to have less and less of a population past the safe zone. And like I said, it goes less and less the further out you get. If you think about it, your 5 km distance that you can see, or more, I'm not getting the number right probably. I just Googled it and tried to figure out what would be the best mathematically. But if you think about it just from this perspective, like I said, my math might be wrong, but 5 km, right? You're probably not going to see anyone. And if you think about it, we're not just dealing with a flat plane. We're dealing with a very large volume. More than likely, a giant ass fucking cube. So the further out you get is the less likely you're going to run into someone. I keep repeating this because I don't want people to be scared. I don't want you guys to have stress or anxiety passing the safe zone. Yes, I want you guys to be prepared because I want you guys to understand that this is a PvP game as well. This is a game where you have to go out in groups of people. Solo play is frowned upon in this game mode. You need to work together with others. I saw a lot of people in the Steam discussion saying that they wanted to be able to disable PvP and pass the safe zone. Unfortunately, that is not how this game is going to work. You need to be able to work with other people. It is a cooperative MMO. So when you get behind your pilot seat and you're ready to cross that safe zone, you need to understand that you have to have everything checked off on a list before you go. You need to either A, have people with you, or B, be willing to lose what you have if you're a solo player in a miner that doesn't really have that much of an armament. Because you got to understand, when you build your ships, you can't just have a jack of all trades that's going to be able to outperform a lot of the fighters or interceptors or gunboats. You're not going to have a miner that has 6 guns on it that's able to dogfight with anyone else who's going to attack you. And on top of that, the majority of people who are going to attack you are not going to attack you from behind or front. They're going to be waiting and hiding behind asteroids or anywhere else, waiting for you to pass so they can attack above or below you, wherever your blind spot's going to be. So if you stay vigilant and keep your eyes open, if you take people with you to escort you, and you just don't stress it, and don't take things that are super valuable across the safe zone barrier, you're not going to lose much. You just got to understand it from the point of how large this universe is. You're not really going to run into a lot of people once you pass that safe zone barrier. And the only other time you're really going to get hit by people, and this is a common practice, is just to wait on the other side of the safe zone and wait for miners to go through. You can follow people. You can go from origin and wait for a miner to come in, know that he's offloading his goods, and then you can just follow him past the safe zone barrier and gun him down. A lot of the people going out there, they don't even realize someone's tailing them. That's what's so great about not having a transponder and not having nameplates once you cross that barrier. No one's going to see you. No one's going to know who you are. So understand it from this perspective, that the pirates who are going to be attacking you are going to be employing stealth tactics to follow you past the safe zone. They're going to be waiting at the safe zone. So these are things to take into consideration. Don't be scared. This is a PvP game. Don't be mortified if you lose your shit either. That's what happens. It's open PvP. And, of course, like I said, the likelihood of you running into someone is very, very low. 300 hours, 2 combats. That's it. Don't be scared. Don't go out there losing shit. And if it does happen, learn from your mistakes. Figure out why it happened. If you got attacked by someone, figure out why you lost. It's a good way to analyze the situation. Be analytical about this. This game is about math. You have no idea what you're capable of unless you analyze the situation and improve on it. So don't be scared. Learn from your mistakes and understand that you can do it. This is my positivity, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of shit on the discussions, and I'm seeing a lot of people talk on Discord, as well as hearing a lot of people on Voice where they're saying that, frankly, they're afraid. They just want to stay inside the safe zone and mine, which is fine. I can understand it. But if you want to cross that safe zone barrier and the only thing that's holding you back is you, understand? Put it to the side and you can do it. You really can. Just go. If you die, you die. You'll make up for your mistakes. You'll learn. You'll learn to be analytical and you'll adapt. Adapt and overcome. That's it. Don't be scared. Solar Polar Bear, out. Stay frosty.